What's up? We back with another episode of 411 Uncut. Today, I got a very special guest with me right now, man. Somebody who's been needing to get on this couch. We supposed to do an interview like so long ago. But the kid Damon is in the building right now. What's up, man?
How you doing? How you doing? Blessings and love. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Hey, look, I like the green hair.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to X for this. I can't take credit. I gotta shout out X for this. Mama named me Evan. This was all his idea. This is all his idea. So
I like it. It's stand out.
I appreciate it.
It stand out.
I appreciate it.
Now, before we get into everything, can I just call you Damon throughout the interview?
Sure.
Okay.
Just, you can call me I've always, like I said, I want to say this publicly. I want to say thank you, Nelody, for allowing me to live my dream. I remember always seeing you back in 2016, the Lonely Road to Success days, just being able to see Prince Bob, being able to see the whole About Billions. I remember I was around the whole About Billions and just being able to see you interview all them, the Scholar Blast, and just being able to be like, man, I'm gonna be there one day. I'm gonna be there one day. So for you allowing me to be on this couch and me having this opportunity, the only way is up for here. If you dream it, you can do it. Dreams really is real.
Man, thank you so much, man. Because you've been around for a while, doing your thing. So I know you're from Cincinnati.
Yes.
But what part of Cincinnati are you from?
Cincinnati. I was my mother was raised out in Evanston. Okay. So my mother would consider me to be from Evanston. But I was raised mainly, I grew up as a kid. I grew up really in Mason. I remember a lot of my years was in Mason. But if I had to call a home, I'm gonna say College Hill. That's my home. That's my home. That's where I would be, where I'm from. Okay. So that's where I went to school. That's where I graduated. That's where I came up from. That's my heart. Now,
growing up, was it just you, or do you have siblings?
I have siblings. I have an older brother. I have an older brother, and I have an older brother and a younger brother, and I have another brother. His name is Charles. My oldest brother with my mother. His name is Kenny. Okay. So she was just me and him. But on my father's side, I got my dad. Pretty much, my dad had raised my brother. Both of my brothers. Okay. My cousin Charles and my brother Kenny. He raised them as his own. So, and then I also have a younger brother, Deshaun. So that's who it was coming up, growing up.
Okay, so you got all brothers.
All brothers, yeah. And I have some, I got my god sister. Shout out to Tracy. Shout out to Julia. So I have my I got my hearts, but mainly I grew up with my brothers.
For sure. Now, what school did you go to? You said
I started out in Mason.
Okay.
Then I eventually I had wound up moving to College Hill. After my father's incarceration, so that's how I went to Pleasant Hill. Okay. From I believe the 6th to the 7th grade, and that's when I went to North College Hill, where I would go and graduated from. Okay. I also went to Diamond Oaks from my 11th to 12th grade year for digital arts and design, because of my uncle AR. AR-15.
What? That's your?
That's my uncle.
AR-15 is your uncle.
That's my uncle.
Wow.
That's my uncle. AR-15.
And he's big in digital and knowing how to just design and everything. And he's the reason why you wanted to get into it at first.
I was around, pretty much I was around. I was around when he was just AR always ready. I was always a big fan of my uncle, the Shake It Like Maracas, Mayweather, and my favorite song, She Ready. But it just being able to see him, it just really, besides just him having all the, that's who I wanted to be. He had all the name, the popularity. My uncle was been popping. So, and it's just on top of that, what made him so special. And what was so crazy to me is he was doing it all on his own. That man was producing his own music. That man making his own graphic designs, shooting his own videos. That man he really showed, he was the blueprint that a lot of us at that time was so young that we didn't catch it. Yeah. So that's what is always going to make him an icon and a legend. In the city, period. Because he was doing a lot of this stuff that they doing now. He was doing it then.
For sure. So you look, my uncle, he got this boom and he making money this way. I probably need to figure out how to use this stuff too. So following graduation, did you continue to mess around with the digital design and things like that?
I didn't really wasn't as serious about it at that time, because around that time of high school, I'll never forget it. So prior to me graduating that February, I remember being in school. You know, I was in the back of my teacher. Her name was Miss Ramey. I was in the back of her class, and I just remember seeing Timeless had just opened up. That was when they was on. It was 125 City Center, I believe, City Center Drive. I believe that's what it was called. That's what it was at the time, the High Lift building, whatever. But I just remember at the middle of the night, I was working at the Fun Factory. Middle of the night, I go to my grandmother's house. I'm like, I'm about to go to the studio. My grandma like, boy, it's late. I'm like, Grandma, it's a studio. Like, it's about to be open. So me and my cousin Darisha, she wound up going with me. So we drove middle of the night. It's probably like 11, 12 at night. Right hand of God, no lie. I just wound up pulling up. I rung the doorbell. And when they opened the door, I never forget, I believe it was L's in there. And he had wound up introducing me to Smooth. Now, you know, when you walked in there, it's the red walls. You got the ropes. You got one of my favorites, icons. You got Lantana on the wall. You got the big old Timeless. So it's like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
You know, here we go. So then he wound up introducing me to Cameron Smooth. Me and Cam wound up talking, having a couple words, and then that's when X had wound up walking out of the booth. And me and him wound up taking a little brief picture. He was in a session at the time, and then they spent me for months. Like they spent me for months. Like, Cam, I gotta give a very special shout out to Cam Smooth. Spent me for months. So that was leading up to say, it was like my last day of school, and I'll never forget it. I had got a call. I love her to death. I love her to death. I gotta give a shout out to her. Without her, she could have overlooked me. Lanessa Gillips, I'll never forget it. She called me. She said, hey, Damon, this is Young X's personal assistant. We would love for you to come in and do an interview. And ever since that day, my life changed.
Wow.
My life had completely changed. I called him, my brother that's to my side, my right-hand man. He took me up there. He had that gold Saturn at the time. He had a gold Saturn at the time. We pulled up. I never forget it. We pulled up in the parking spot that was like right here on the left. I had on a pink shirt. I had on a pink, like, little pink button down, some little dress, some little
and what was they
cream dress
interviewing
pants
you
for internship.
Wow.
For internship, they interviewed me for an internship, and ever since then, it's been up ever since.
So that's when you got your foot in the door in that studio, and that's when you decided to start recording and doing things yourself, huh?
But really, at that point, I just was really hungry for the information. It wasn't more so about the music, because I knew that was going to come. It was just more so about being able to soak up the game. Because now I'm in the presence of, I would call X my Jermaine Dupri. Now I'm in the studio where I'm meeting Showtime, Young X, the whole About Billions family. So it was just more about getting the game so I could be able to know what it is, so I could learn what I needed to know, so when it was my time.
Heck yeah.